Dear students, how are you? Hopefully you all are doing well. This is Amit Saha, Lecturer, Department of Mathematics, Milestone College. Today our discussion topic is 11.2 in your mathematics section, that is proportion and the ratios of the number. Dear student, today we are going to discuss about MCQ and some problem solution. Since MCQ plays a very vital role for your exam, that's why I will be looking for your attention, and hopefully you will be benefited from this lecture. Thank you. So dear students, according to our lesson plan, we will discuss about chapter 11.2. In this chapter, we will discussing some properties first, and we will see the example of that. After that, we are trying to focus on the MCQ. My dear students, we have already told that MCQ is a very important topic for you. So let's start our first topic, that is continued ratio. So first we are trying to focus on continued ratio. What actually the continued ratio is? The continued ratio is something like if two ratios are of the form A is to B and B is to C. If two ratios, say for example our first ratio is A is to B and our second ratio is B is to C. So if two ratios are formed like A is to B and B is to C, then these two ratios can be written as A is to B is to C. Why? Because these two elements are exactly same. That's why this, according to our continued ratios definition, we can say A is to B and B is to C can be written as A is to B is to C. Okay, dear students, in this continued ratio, what we can write except this? We can write, say for example, that A is to B is equals to B is to C. That means A is to B can be written as A by B and B is to C can be written as B by C. So here we can say this could be written as, if we multiply, then it should be B square is equals to AC. So this is a standard formula for continued ratio. Okay, dear students, so according to the continued ratio, we are trying to focus on an example. And so what I was talking about, we are trying to focus on example, that is example 12. In this question, it is totally depending on our continued ratio. Here is given if ABC is quantities of same kind. So these are the quantities of same kind, and A is to B equal 3 is to 4 and B is to C is equals to 6 is to 7. So these two are given, and we have to find what will be the value of A is to B is to C. First of all, we have to go for some calculation. Which calculation we are looking for? Here what is given? Here is given A is to B, that is 3 is to 4, and that means A by B equal 3 by 4, and B is to C is equals to 6 is to 7, that means B by C is equals to 6 by 7. My dear students, what I was talking about at the very beginning of our lecture, that was what's the value of B we have to identify. Here the value of B is what? Value of B is 4, and here the value of B is 6. Since one is value for 4, but here the value of B is 6. That's why first thing for us, that is we have to make equal this to B. So where we can go for the same value of b, that is the LCM of 4 and 6, that is nothing but the 12. To go for, if we thinking for the going, that is 12, that can be given by multiplying it by 3. So by this you can get 9 by 12, and here 6 should be multiplying by 2, then we will get our resultant answer, that is 12 by 14. Now my dear students, look at the board very carefully. Here is given a by b is 9 by 12, here b by a is 12 by 14. What does it actually means? It means that the value of b is 12 and here the value of b is 12. Since the value of b are same, then we can say the value of, it should be actually c because that was b by c. So the value of a should be 9, b should be 12 and c should be 14. So we can say that very easily our a is to, b is to, c is nothing but the 9 is to, 12 is to, 14, where here a is 9, b is 12 and c is 14. So that is the thing what we had to find. Okay. Okay, dear students, here I am trying to give another 2 example for related to our continued proportion by continued ratio. Here our first part is given, that is xy. Here is given that x to y is equals to 7:5, and another thing is given y to z equals to 5:7. So here actually we have to think that our y should be equal. That's our first criteria we have to fulfill. So here look at the value of y. The value of y is 5, here the value is y. Since directly the value of y is same, then we can say directly that our x y z's ratio is nothing but the 7:5:7. That's how we can solve these types of problem very easily. Okay, look at our second problem. Here there is given b, a, c are continued proportion. My dear students, just watch the board very carefully. Just we have been learned that if a, b, c are continued proportion, then what was happened? On that time we read, or that is we write a by b equal b by c. Just previously we wrote this, but at the case of b, a, c are continued proportion, that means it should be b by a equal to a by c. Why? Here the place of b was in middle, that's why our b was come 2 times. Here a has placed at the middle, that's why it should be a by b by a is equals to a by c. Here if we multiply these 2, then we'll get very easily, that is a square equal to bc. So from this part we can say yes, our 1 number is absolutely correct. Our 2 will be not correct because it should be b by a equal a by b, a by c. That means a should be placed at denominator and other place it should be numerator, but here a is placed for both denominator. It cannot be satisfied. So what about that? A plus b by a minus b and c plus a by c minus a. Okay, dear students, if it is this, then we can say it can be written as if we are going for the invertendo, a by b, c by what? A. We are going for first invertendo. That's why it makes the inverse. Now we will going for the componendo dividendo, and you know componendo means nothing but the addition and dividendo means nothing but the subtraction. Similarly here will be again the componendo and this should be our dividendo. So it's exactly equal to our 3. So we can say this is our correct answer. So our MCQ was like this, that if B and C are continued proportion, then which one of these are correct? So correction will be 1 and 3 and 2 will be not our correct answer. Dear student, I think you can got the math. So dear students, now this is the another problem I wanted to try to solve for you, and these types of problem sometimes you make some problematic issue in your exam. Don't worry about that. First of all, question says that if our x and y is 2:1 and y/z is 2:1, then is it a continued proportion or not? That's our first criteria. Second criteria says that it is right or wrong, and this will be verified or not. First of all, we need to think that is it a continued proportion or not. To be a continued proportion, my dear students, you must have to know that our two ratios must have to be same. Here the xy is 2:1 and yz is also 2:1. Since our two ratios are same, that's why we can say this is absolutely continued proportion. So number 1 is absolutely correct. What about number 2? To go find the value of zx, we need to go for some calculation. Here is given x to y, that is x by y equal to 2/1, and here is given y by z is equals to 2/1, because we have already told you that if there is given something x is to y, that means x by y. Okay, so here we have observed that the value of y here is 1 and here the value of y is 2. So if we are trying to equal these two, then we have to multiply this into 2. I mean, we will just multiply here by 2. Then we will get x by y is equals to 4/2, and here it will be 2/4. That means we can say our x is to y is to z is equals to, the value of x is 4, the value of y is 2, here is also 2, and value of z should be 1. So that's our main proportion, that is x is to y is to z is 4:2:1. That means the value of x is 4, y is 2, and z is 1. Now look at the board, it should be z is to x. So z is to x. If we write z is to x, then where the value of z, it is 1, and where the value of x, here it is. So it should be 1:4, and exactly the same thing what is given in our option number 2. So 2 number option is absolutely correct. So now what about the question number 3? So here what we have been observed from this, that our left side is y square plus zx, and the value of y is what? Here we have already told you, that is the value of x is 4, y is 1, and y is 2. X is 4, y is 2, and z is 1. So here the value of y is gonna be 2, the value of z is 1, and the value of x is 4. So it should be 4 plus 4, that is 8, and our right side should be 4yz. That means 4 into the value of y is 2, the value of z is 1. So if we multiply 4 into 2 into 1, that is nothing but the 8. So here we can observe that this condition is also satisfied. So these types of MCQs generally come from the continued ratios very regularly. So my dear students, I think you have the clear concept of this part. Okay, now we are moving on to actually type number 2, that is our second type, and this type actually talking about the LCM FCF problem. It can be also GCF. Okay, dear students, here is given, if the ratio of two numbers is given, sometimes your ACF is given, sometimes your LCM will be given. One thing will be given and another thing you have to find. Here our HCF is given, and also the ratio of two number is also given. So how we can go for the solution of this? It's another MCQ for you. You have to thinking or letting that our two numbers be 5x and 7x, and from these two numbers we can easily say that what will be the HCF, what will be the LCM. The HCF of this will be here, HCF should be what? X, because only common elements from these two is X. We already know only common elements will be our HCF. And what will be our LCM? LCM is something which is common and uncommon. Every two will be come. Here x is common, so common part is coming, and 7 into 5, if we multiply these two, we'll get nothing but the 35. So that's to our thinking, or we have to find from the numbers. Now one thing will be given, another thing we have to find. Here is given what? Here is given the HCF. So according to question, our HCF is HCF. That means our HCF, that is x equal 4. And what we have to find? We have to find the value of LCM, and we have already can understand that how we can go for that. LCM is gonna be 34 into 4. If we multiply this to 34 into 4, it's nothing but the 140, and that's our required answer. So if our question is looks like this, that is HCF is what you have to find, but fortunately your LCM was given, that is 140. Then how we can find out that? On that time we should have to that our according to question says 35x is equals to 140, and from here if we calculate this, then we got x will be our 4, and that was our HCF. Can you understand? And this type 2 is very much important for your any exam. Okay, dear students, now we move on to our very important type, that is I am always giving it, that is type 3. And in this type we are talking about the triangle, and in this triangle we are focusing on two things. One is the angle and another is the side. So we can say our type 3 is the part where we are discussing about triangles, angle versus side. It's a very important type for our MCQ. First of all, we have to draw a triangle. So for example, here is given a triangle, and if there is given, suppose given our angle, not directly, here is given, that is the ratio of the angle is given, suppose ratio of angle is given, that is 3:4:5. So what is given? Given the ratio of the angle, and we need to find the what will be the side. If we have to think for this, then how we can go for that? So to show that which side is bigger and which side is the lower, first of all we have to find the angle. So from the ratio of the angle we have to find the angles, which angle or what's the measurement of the triangle, and for that we have to assumption, that is let three angles be thrice x, 4x and 5x, and according to question what we can say, thrice x, 4x and 5x is equals to 180. How? We know that sum of the three angles of a triangle is nothing but the 180. That's so we can write here. Then 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12x equals to 180 degree. So the value of x should be 180 degree divided by 12. If we divide these two, then what we'll get? Exactly 15. That's great, very good. So if x is 15, then what will be the angles? Our angles is very much equal to that 3 into 15, that will be 45 degree, 4 into 15, that will be 60 degree, and 5 into 15, that will be 75 degree. So if we know the angle, then here three questions can become. First question is, which side is bigger? What I was talking about, what is the relation? Second is, what's the difference between this minimum and maximum angle? So difference between what? Difference between smaller and larger angle. Smaller and larger angle. And it can be another question can become that what is the smallest or biggest or largest. So these three types of question can be come. First of all, what is the smallest angle? If from this three ratio we had to find, then we could say very easily that our smallest angle is 45 and our largest angle is 75. What's the difference between these two? That is also very easy. 75 minus 45, that means what? 45, 55, that is 30 degree. And another question is, which side is bigger? Where the angle exists 75. Say for example, our ABC is our triangle and this angle is, say for example, that 75, though it is not, but if it is 75 degree, then this side be the bigger one. And if, say for example, that's our smaller, that is 45 degree, that is the smaller angle, so this side should be our smallest side. That's the relationship between side and angle. Generally, question says from the ratio we had to find the angles. Okay. Next, students, we are trying to focus on the second part. So here now, dear students, we are trying to focus on the side part. Say for example, that's our triangle, and in this triangle there is three sides. We can understand very easily. And here is given something, given the ratio of three sides, given the ratio of three sides B, what it can be very much equals to 3:5:7. Say for example, 3:5:7. And another thing is given, that is the perimeter. Perimeter is given and perimeter is equals to 45. If these two things are given, then can we find the larger side, can we find the smaller side, and can we find the middle side? We have to find these three, and we know that perimeter is nothing but the summation of three sides. First of all, we have to find, or we have to letting something, our three side be thrice x, 5x and 7x. And according to question, what we can write, this 3 or the summation of these three is equals to 45, then it should be 8 plus 7, isn't it? It's 15x equals to 45, so the x will be 3. If x is 3, then how we can find the smaller and larger? First of all, we can say our three sides should be 3 into 3, that is 9, 3 into 5, 15, 3 into 7, 21. So our smaller side is 9, our larger side is 21. And what's the difference between these two? It's nothing but the what? 9 and 21. If we minus these two, what will be the answer? Tell me. Exactly. Thank you very much. That should be 12. Thank you. So here this can be find the another way. Say for example that to our given, just our question says we have to find the difference of larger and smallest. How we can go for that? We can go by a very interesting way, that is it can be 7x minus 3x directly. That means what? 4x, and the value of x is already known, that is 3, so it's 12. So that is the another way we can find the what? Difference between smaller and larger angle. Clear? My dear students, today I was discuss about the MCQ and basic part. I think this lecture will be very beneficial for you. Don't forget to write all of the types and try to practice at home. Thank you.